In this video I will be demonstrating a beginner-friendly wire wrap for tumbled stones. For this video I will be wrapping this medium-sized rounded tumbled stone. I am using round dead soft copper wire. Take one piece of 20 gauge wire and find the middle. Start wrapping slightly before the middle of the wire. Wrap a piece of 26 gauge wire 3 times around the 20 gauge wire. Position the rest of the 20 gauge wires with 2 below the first wire and 2 above. Check the wires are all lined up. Wrap the 26 gauge wire 6 times around all the wires. Don't wrap too tightly, as this will make the base wires bunch up and not sit nicely next to each other. Wrap 3 times around just the middle wire. Trim off the excess weaving wire, leaving a couple of millimeters or 1/8 of an inch. Bend the ends of the weaving wire over the woven area on what will be the back of the weave. Gently flatten the woven area and make sure the weaving wires are pushed close together. The ends of the weaving wire will be tightly against the stone where they can't snag on anything or scratch the skin. Check that the weave is centered on the wires. I will place the next set of weaves at approximately the middle point at the side of the stone. Estimate where the next set of weaves should be. The weaves can be easily adjusted if they are in the wrong position. Wrap the wires together in the same way as before. To adjust the position, you can simply slide the weaves along the base wires. Place another set of weaves at the same distance on the other side of the centre weave. The next set of weaves will sit on both sides near the top of the stone. Another way to estimate the position of the weaves is to use a piece of string. Wrap the wires together the same way as before. Start shaping the wires around the stone. At this point, you can adjust the weaves to the correct position. I am going to use a piece of masking tape to help hold the stone in position. Masking or painter's tape are good options as they won't leave a residue behind. Bend the top wires outwards above the last weaves. Bring the wires together at the top of the stone, making sure that the wires are correctly surrounding the stone. At the top of the stone, separate the middle wires on both sides. Cross the middle wires over each other at the top of the stone. Wrap both the middle wires once around the rest of the wires at the top of the stone. Maneuver the outer wires surrounding the stone on each side of the centre weave. Bend the wires to go over the stone to hold it in place. You can use pliers to do this. I am using my nails just because it is easier to demonstrate this process without tools blocking the view. Now bend the two inner wires outwards. Leave the middle wire where it is. Repeat the process with the wires above the side weaves. Keep bending the wires until the stone is fully secured. Decide which side will be the front of the pendant. Wrap the middle wires tightly around the other wires a few more times, bringing them to the front of the pendant. Cut the excess off the middle wires at the front of the pendant. Turn to the back of the pendant and separate the two back wires. These will form the bail. Take a length of weaving wire and place it between the two base wires with the end towards the back. Anchor the weaving wire by wrapping it once around each wire. Wrap around both wires for approximately 1 inch. Finish by wrapping around each wire separately and bringing the end to the back and removing the excess. Bend the unwrapped wires outwards. I am using a small screwdriver to help shape the bail. Bend the wrapped area into the shape of the bail and bring the unwrapped wires to the front. Cross the wires over at the front of the bail. I am trimming ½ inch from the end of each wire. Use the end of round nose pliers to start forming a loop at the end of the wire. The very end of the wire can remain straight and can make the coil a little misshapen, so I trim off a small amount. Continue forming the loop. Switch to pliers with a flat nose to continue rolling the wires into a smooth coil. Position the coil in the front of the middle wires. Repeat the process with the other wire. Take the first wire and bend it to the side and downwards. Now bend it across the front of the stone and under the bottom coil. Bend the wire into a loop on the other side of the bail. Take the next wire and follow the first. Now bend both wires to the back of the pendant. The rest of the wires follow the other wires but without the loop on the other side of the bail. Bend all the wires to the back. I am going to leave the two lowest wires at the back. Bend the wires to meet the bend in the side wire. Use an offcut of any weaving wire to attach the wires to the side wire. I am using some 30 gauge offcuts. You can use any pattern to wrap the wires together, just make sure they are securely connected. Trim the wires shorter and make a loop in the cut ends. Make sure these wires are sitting towards the side, otherwise the pendant won't sit properly. Bend the rest of the wires to the front of the pendant. Bend the shorter wires to follow the near side wire. Use an offcut of any weaving wire to attach the wires to the side wire where it bends. Coil the wires in opposite directions. Bend the final wires to follow the far side wire. Attach the wires where the side wire bends. Coil the wires in opposite directions. Of course, you can feel free to change the design and make your own unique creations. On this one, I have changed the way I coiled the front wires. On this one, I have left 4 wires at the back to make the front design more simple. Thank you for viewing. Please join me for my next video.